righty, folks, we got to update the drone situation. As you know, from my last video, that my company's working with another company on bringing some very sophisticated drone detection and countermeasure equipment, military grade, the best in the world, to New Jersey to help determine what's going on here. And we've been trying to get approval from local government and from the federal government to deploy the equipment, but so far have not received any authorization. However, the equipment is also able to do some detection does not need authorization for some type of detection. So it's here. Of course, the activity has now seemed to have ceased now that our equipment has shown up, and also the government now is, potentially saying they're going to try to do something about this. But two things came out of our investigation that are very interesting. The first is we uncovered that there was a temporary restricted flight zone over Picatinny base in New Jersey was authorized for this very November 20th, 21st through whatever dates that this activity has been occurring. It had been filed, and it had been filed by a military contractor who actually must be out there testing drones, and this is what it's all about. And we found that there was if you look, there was an article in the Daily Mail today that talks about the secret contract, or maybe not so secret, but there was a defense contract for drone testing and the like. So the government is probably, of all the many theories that are out there, I think the most plausible, at least for New Jersey. I can't speak for the rest of the world because this is a global phenomenon right now. It seems like this is our government in action and then not telling us. The theories that are out there it's non-human intelligence, and that's a very plausible theory given the fact that it's all over the world. It's China or Iran or Russia or some other state actor. That's a possibility. Probably not as likely, but it's a possibility. It's sort of private sector people. That's probably highly unlikely given the amount of activity all over the globe. And it really, to me, it's always been, I try to take the simplest course of action. When I look at these things, I look at two things, our government and where's the money going. And you look at this case, I think there's two glaring, obvious examples that it's both our government and it's all about money and control. So right after this was uncovered a couple days ago, you noticed that President Biden came out in the news and said he is going to push for more authority, more legislation, more power to control, or not control, but to regulate drones. And he also wants to allow local and state authorities to have drone detection and countermeasures, so the ability to sort of knock down drones. And because this doesn't exist today, I think only 5 agencies have that power. I think the Secret Service and some other agencies. So it's really at the federal level, the ability to do so. So that's why these states have had their hands tied. That's why they've been so frustrated, because they can't do anything about these drones. They don't have any authority. So this would then bring the authority down to the local and state level. Of course, they're not going to give up total control, so the feds will have to oversee it. So you're still going to have to get approvals from the Fed to do anything. My guess is you'll never be able to drop a drone without getting approvals, which means the feds can still run their own programs throughout these areas, and they'll still not tell the local people or us, the public, the truth about it, because that's what they do. Now, is it a horrible thing if they're using this in a way to sort of prepare ourselves for non-human intelligence invasions, foreign adversary invasions? No, if that's the purpose, but why not disclose that to the public, that we're putting up a drone net? We're putting up the iron drone, the dome, if you will, that we have for missiles, now for drones, which makes perfect sense, because we're seeing that the drone technology now is going to be where the warfare is going to be in the next couple decades. It's not going to be missiles. I mean, look what Ukraine's doing to Russia with little drones dropping grenades down in tanks, and they're doing a devastating attacks on Russia with drones. So drones are obviously the next generation of warfare, and we have to be on top of it. So there's nothing nefarious about our government learning how to deal with drones and testing them and doing whatever. Now, I don't think they should be doing it over civilian populations, and maybe they were not. Maybe it was all over the military bases, but I'm not sure. It seems like a lot of it is, but it's clearly not 100% because people saw them sort of in their neighborhood in their backyard. So if they're doing that and they're getting out over civilian airspace, that's not a good thing, and they should definitely do something about that. But nevertheless, the government needs to explore this. They need to have technology to detect and to countermeasure drones. And I would be shocked, and I'm shocked to the day that we have to find out about it this way, that they haven't been doing it all along, and that every state and local authority should have the ability, because they can't. The federal government cannot deploy to every city in the United States overnight. So the city is going to have to be protected. This is a local problem now because these drones are local. They're not going to, the reason why the United States has been such a superpower for so long is because we're bordered by two friendly countries, mostly friendly. I'm not sure about Canada, but I think our friends in Mexico are friendly, except for the cartels. But we have two friendly countries on our northern and southern border, and we have the massive Pacific and Atlantic Oceans between us and any potential adversaries around the world. So in order to get to us, you've got to cross the ocean. You either got to fly across, send ships across, submarines, or you got to send missiles. And to this date, we are able to detect those far in advance. So we feel very secure in our borders, or in our ability to defend the United States proper from attack. And that's why we've been very, very strong as a military. That's why we're very tough to beat. I don't think we could be beat because of that. But now drones, you can get a fishing boat off the coast of Manhattan and then deploy 100 drones with weapons. That is a problem, and that won't be able to be counteracted by the current Iron Dome that we have over missiles and the like coming in the radar, because these drones can actually fly under the radar. So it's a real serious risk that the government needs to deal with. So I'm not against that. By the way, the government and private contractors, we're well aware of it because some of our friends have brought up equipment that they're developed, have fantastic equipment to deal with this stuff, just that it's not deployed throughout the country, and therefore it needs to be, which of course is going to cost money. That gets to my second point. There's going to be money to be made here. These contractors are going to produce these things at scale now. Every city is going to have one. Just like we gave every city, major city in the United States now is sort of armored up to be like a military, to be a quasi-military organization. They have vests, they have tanks, they have helicopters, they have all kinds of equipment now that's military grade. They look almost like the military, and maybe it needs to be when it comes to foreign threats. I don't think it's necessary for domestic threats, but again, this also could be a domestic problem. Let's say we have a group in this country that decides to go rogue and they want to use drones and to create some kind of havoc in the United States. They can do it. I'm a little worried this will go the same way of our Second Amendment problems. You take away people's rights to have to defend themselves with guns. Now, you may going to take away our right to protect ourselves with drones, because I have drones, and I like the fact that I have drones. I can cover my property. I can see what's going on around my property. I don't use it theoretically for defensive purpose. I haven't thought about that, but maybe I will. And certainly as technology changes, I'm going to have to change with it. So anyways, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's terrible that they don't disclose it. I think it's wrong that that the public's not in on the loop, because rational people like myself, I believe, are in favor of us having defensive measures against drones. I wish they wouldn't lie to us. I wish they wouldn't use these tactics to put fear, because this is all about fear, right? The more you have people in fear, the more you can control them, just like COVID. The more we're going to get more budgets. We're going to probably get another 3-letter agency to cover drones. It's just on and on and on. And we just could keep spending more money and keep doing this stuff without a clear plan of action as to what we're really doing it about. Are we doing it about foreign adversaries? Are we doing it because of non-human intelligence? Because there's been a lot of disclosure lately that that's more and more likely to be an issue, and the government is sort of prepping us for the reality of what they've been lying to us about for decades, that it's out there. And some of these drones probably cannot be explained by both our own military stuff because they're very different. They're different all over the place. Some of the flight patterns, as you know, my military sources tell me that they don't exist today, even in our most sophisticated military technology. So there's too many questions here, and I don't think this what I'm saying is going to solve it. The fact that I think the government clearly now we have proof that the government is involved in New Jersey for sure. They have a contract for this. They put a no-fly zone over Picatinny Arsenal. So clearly some of this activity could have come from there. The fact that they won't let private citizens like the group that I know that's up here with the equipment that could absolutely help and absolutely determine where these drones are coming from, and not allow that to happen, not even allow the cities to do their own yet. Eventually they might, but they're not yet. So therefore we're going to be kept in the dark, as always, by the government as to what they're up to, and it's unfortunate. So I hope, you know, when you get out there, talk to your congressman. I think this is something that, you know, we have an opportunity potentially. I don't know for sure if President Trump will be more open to disclosure, more open to talking about a real risk that the countries are facing or the world is facing if they're out there. And there's a lot of people in the community, and I got to tell you, these are not tin hat people. Okay, the people that I'm talking to are very serious patriots, very serious ex-military or government or intelligence community people, law enforcement people who've been doing this entire career. They are very concerned. They have lots of knowledge. They have lots of knowledge that I don't have and you don't have about what's going on out there. And they are trying to get awareness, and they are being shut down. And that is a real problem. So I hope, you know, that the public keeps pushing even harder, and don't think that this, you know, this disinformation campaign by the government, which is trying to tell us that it's all nothing, nothing you see here, 3,000 drones flying all over the world, nothing to see here, don't worry about that, no problems. Oh, we don't have alien technology. Oh, we don't know what all these sightings are by these serious, military pilots who are reporting this stuff every day. There is something there. I don't pretend to know what it is, but I am certainly concerned that we should know more. And I am not afraid, and I'm sure most of you are not afraid. Hey, look, if we are sharing this earth with other species from other areas, or maybe we're not even the indigenous people on this earth, we might be the colonizers, or maybe the pets of the colonizers, who knows? But the net is, I prefer to know. I prefer to know where I stand in the universe. I'd rather know than not know. And it's not that damn scary. By the way, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen anyway. I'd rather know about it. I'd rather live my life with the knowledge of what we're doing. I mean, the search for meaning, the search for life, the search to understand what we're doing here is what we've been doing our entire existence. And why our government thinks that we're not capable, of hearing it is beyond me. And I don't like these fear campaigns, and I don't like these control campaigns like COVID. And I think this drone is another example of where they're going to try to grab more control over people, and the ability to manipulate people, and to with the disinformation and misinformation is not kosher with me. So I hope it's not with you as well. So please pay attention. We'll be paying attention. We've got people really on top of this, and I hope that as we get more information that we can disclose, we'll disclose it. And I hope that people take it up with their local and their state and federal representatives and tell them we're done with this stuff. Don't tell me Congress can't dig into the DOD and find out what the hell's in those files. And that's baloney, okay? And all it is that I think there's enough of the incumbent, defense contractors who are in on the inside and making money off of this stuff that they're not wanting to share, because why should they? They got the monopoly on making money off of our fear and off of whatever's going on out there, and that should stop, because it shouldn't. Our safety, our knowledge, our awareness of where we are in the world should not be tied to someone's profit margins, and I'm a big believer in that. So anyway, God bless. Stay safe. We'll keep an eye on this drone situation. It's a fluid situation. Lots of people looking at it, lots of scrutiny, and that's what it takes to actually get to the bottom of this stuff. You need the public to be outraged. And I wish people had been more outraged during COVID. We probably would have stopped a lot of people from getting sick, myself included. I've got blood clots from the vaccine. A lot of people that I know, particularly men at my age group, that did get blood clots and heart situations from the vaccine, because we were lied to, and it's not good. So I hope that people don't allow that to happen again. You know, I fell prey to it because I didn't have a choice. In New York, you couldn't work, you know, if you didn't get the vaccine, even though I was very skeptical about it. And I had friends in the genetics community that were telling me that you got to be careful here. And I wanted to listen to them, but I couldn't. And they were all shut down. And now everything they said has been proven. And we'll talk about that on another clip. Thanks a lot. God bless. Have a great day.